Hello and welcome to the end of year character unlock extravaganza. That's right, I'm going to use that word this time.
Is this a fucking circus?
Yes, it is a fucking circus working with you guys.
It's like a three-ring circus.
The worst kind.
Yep.
So I'm hosting this award show, the Brookies, or the Millie Brooks as the email apparently has decided to be. Sorry about that, Lee, because you're kind of not involved in the actual naming of our award show, despite being on it.
Well, he named it.
Yeah, I think I named it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Stop doing things.
Last year when I said I couldn't come up with a decent name, and he said the Millbrooks, so that's what I called it.
I don't like it. It's terrible. Get rid of it.
I was going to make a little image thing for each game that we choose as number one, and put a little a trophy that says the Millbrooks on it. But I couldn't be asked.
You're ill. It's all right.
Yeah, pretty much. And I got home. I volunteered to write a couple of pieces for Set the Tape. Only like 200 words. But I got home today and realised that 2 of them were due. And I was like, oh shit, I best fucking write these before I start podcasting. Otherwise, I'll podcast and then edit, and then it'll be 1 a.m. and Callum will cry.
And nobody wants that.
No, they don't.
So I'm hosting. With me is Andrew Brooker and our good buddy Lee Loveridge. How are we, gents?
Ill.
Yeah.
I'm great, thank you, gentlemen.
I'm alright, apart from the fact I'm fucking ill. Some cunt on Thursday. I went up to Leicester on Thursday for a work thing.
And they sneezed on you.
And some cunt sneezed on the back of my neck, and I could feel getting ill. I could feel myself getting ill the second it happened. I was like,
You went where?
Leicester.
Oh, right. Why
Yeah.
didn't you stop in for a beer?
Well, I was with somebody else. There was 2 of us.
So?
She doesn't know you. I barely know you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And she doesn't really know me.
Yeah, that would have been weird. Just rocking up to a random bald guy's house with a work colleague.
Yeah. To be fair, we didn't get out till 6 o'clock, and I needed to get home, as did she. And as long as I'm on the road, I can claim overtime. So I took a slow drive home.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I was round the corner from a friend of mine's place as well. I was like, if I was up here on my own, I definitely would have stopped off. But no, when you're with someone else. But yeah, some prick sitting behind me, he was like sniffling and coughing all the way through this thing. And all of a sudden I could hear him go, "Aphew!" And then I could feel it on the back of my neck. I was like, oh, you...
Why didn't you just punch him in the mouth?
I was too busy getting sick. I could feel... Oh, a dirty cunt. And mate, guys, I felt so ill since. And like yesterday, what we on today? Wednesday. So Monday it started to kick in. Yesterday I felt like shit. Today, my entire face feels like I've just been snorting Evo stick. It's horrible.
You should have just got all up in his business and started saying every word you knew that began with P or B in the style of Mr. Bean.
Oh, if I ever come across him again, I'm just gonna beat him up and shit on his chest.
Yeah, but no, I'd go with the spitting thing.
Yeah. Shitting on people is frowned upon in most circles.
Some people like that Cleveland steamer on a chest, though.
Yeah, they do. Some people are really into that. There's documentaries on it and everything.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't risk it, because it's either going to go horribly wrong or more horribly wrong when you shit on him.
Or it's going to go really right for one of us. It just won't be me. Oh, but yeah, enough about my oozing face and me defecating on people. Lee, mate, how you doing?
Yeah,
haven't heard from you in a while.
Hello, adoring fans of mine. They're not out there, are they? No.
One person who works with
Dude, there are three people that listen to this podcast. One of them is you.
That's true.
You're really bringing our numbers down by being on this. You know that, right?
I'm sorry.
What's worse is the one fan of yours is also you.
I am a very big fan of mine.
Someone's got to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm really good. Gearing up for Christmas with the little one. Yeah, it's good this time around.
How old is he now?
It's 2.5 on Christmas Day.
Oh, yeah, you'll get right into it this year then.
Yeah, he's loving it at the minute, so it's nice now this time around. It's different for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, good. Yeah, all good.
Yeah, now first Christmas is great for you. Oh, the first Christmas with the baby. And but they don't give a fuck.
They're a baby.
They're too
They don't
busy
give a
eating and
fuck about
shitting
nothing.
and getting spoilt by all the parents. But yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep. All good.
Yeah.
Lemsip. I have Lemsip. I miss my coffee. I want Lemsip.
Just put Lemsip in coffee.
That's not nice.
No, it's not, but it covers both bases.
Or does it?
It probably
Does
makes
it cover
work.
either base if I do that?
I don't think
Just
it
put
does.
Pro Plus in the Lemsip.
Now there is a fucking stellar idea. Or just Lemsip and a couple of Barocca.
That could work.
Me, but on a really good day.
Yeah.
We need to really show off the product placement to this.
We need sponsorship, damn it.
Well, apparently we don't, because we give it away for free.
Well, it's the best way to give it away, mate.
I couldn't give it away for money. I have to give it away for free.
You probably couldn't give it away for free, Lee. You'd have to pay them to take it.
Only on
Yeah,
occasion.
I might have had to pay a couple of times.
That's just to clean it off afterwards.
Yep.
Well,
There we go.
this went downhill quick, lads.
Yeah, we're not good at this. I think we should just focus on what it is that we're actually aiming to achieve with this episode, and then actually try and achieve it instead of, not doing that.
What? You're hosting, so you're the one that's got to keep us on track, dude.
I'm not very good at keeping people on track. I'm not very good at keeping Lee on track. He just does whatever he wants whenever he wants. It's weird.
That's why we keep
Sorry.
getting them on.
I don't have boundaries.
No, you don't. So there's no news really. So
Well, nothing's fucking happened.
no, it's Christmas. People
no,
don't care about.
Carlton suing Fortnite.
Oh yeah, for the dance that they
Yeah.
didn't credit to him, which I suppose is fair on the grounds that kids will only remember it as a Fortnite dance.
It's literally called the Carlton Dance.
Yeah.
There you go. News talked about. Done.
The Carlton dance is in Destiny, but they don't call it the Carlton dance. I don't think.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's also in at least one of the Saints Row games.
It is, yeah.
Again, not
Yeah,
called
but
the
it'd be
Carlton
tongue
dance.
in cheek, and I don't know if was it free in Destiny? I don't know.
It probably wasn't free. Nothing's free in Destiny.
No, but it's not like Fortnite's a weird, big deal thing, isn't it? At the minute.
Yeah.
That's because Fortnite dances are the way forward in life, apparently.
Well, it's got a massive kind of... It's a cultural phenomenon, isn't it, Fortnite? No one gives a fuck about Saints Row. No one gives a fuck about Destiny. Everybody gives a fuck about Fortnite. So if you're charging people for a fucking Carlton dance emote and then not crediting the guy that invented it, it's probably not okay.
No.
No, I mean personally, I've never played it, so I don't really get it. But I do know that every Tom, Dick, and Harry's on it, and it kind of reminds me in a way of what Halo 3 was like when I was young.
Yeah.
Because Halo 3 was massive. Everyone loved it, and all my friends had it, and we all played it after school, after college or whatever, for ages and ages and ages. So it's kind of the same thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Except now you can get Fortnite on fucking everything. Like you can get mobiles, tablets, every games console. It's bonkers.
Yeah.
So there's no getting away from it. The little fuckers can play it on the bus.
Yeah. Fortnite is unending until Carlton sues them for hopefully just enough money. They have to stop making Fortnite.
Yeah. Well, some little scroty kids come out as well and said that he owns the flossing dance, but I think he's talking shit, to be quite honest with you. And they nicked the dance from what's his face as well.
Some
can't remember the
rapper or
actor's
something,
name.
isn't it? Yeah.
Alfonso something or other.
Well, yeah, that's
I don't know,
Carlton.
what's his name? Oh yeah, that's Carlton. But who's the guy out? It's Chris something or other. Chris Turk out of Scrubs, but I can't remember his real name.
Oh,
Donald
Dennis
Faison.
Donald Faison. Yeah,
That's it, Donald Faison. Yeah, his Poison dance as well was on it.
I
think
love
got
that
tagged
dance as well.
Yeah, good dance.
That's like one of the best Scrubs scenes ever.
It's all the best Scrubs scene ever.
All Scrub scenes are the best scenes.
Yeah, so I don't think Fortnite's going away anytime soon, but it'll fade into the distance. So I mean, Overwatch was massive before Fortnite, weren't it? And now you don't hear nothing from that now.
No, still going.
Yeah, it's still going strong as well, but it's just the next thing will come along and replace Fortnite. So it's only a matter of time, I guess.
Oh yeah, it'll be a couple of years. But something will happen. It was Minecraft before, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then Angry Birds before that.
Yeah. Fucking hell. I feel old.
You are old.
Fuck
yeah,
you.
Man. Sorry.
So I guess we'll just go straight into the meaty goodness of the episode, as Brooker called it, apparently.
When did I call it
Awards.
the meaty goodness?
I don't remember you mentioning meaty goodness.
In the
I think John's
email.
got-
It's
I
definitely
think
in the
John's got
email.
something on his mind.
It's definitely in the email. Fuck you.
Got Brooker's meaty goodness on his mind.
Yeah.
As does everybody, mate.
That
So,
doesn't surprise me either.
Fuck you both. Right. Just fuck you.
Just every now and again slip in the meaty goodness. Pun totally intended for that one.
Right.
sorry, what
I
were you
don't care.
saying?
I don't
Meaty
care anymore.
goodness.
It's over. The dream's dead.
Okay.
What, the dream of my
Alright.
meaty goodness?
Yes.
It was
It's
never
over.
alive.
Oh,
Good.
my eyes are weeping.
I hope you're
Emotion
unhappy.
juice.
Let's just go straight into the awards. So who wants to lead? Who's going to give us their best game of the year? Their number one.
We can't. You can't start with number one. You
Okay,
have to
number.
work up.
Do you?
Yeah, of
Do
course
you
you
have
do.
to work? Okay, fine. Number 3, Brooker. You go.
You're not even going to explain what we're doing. Just going to go right.
No.
No, okay,
Fuck
fine.
you. We've done this enough times now. People know what's going on. We've got 3 listeners. One of them's here.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so yeah, my number 3. Oh, my number. Oh, okay, my number 3 is Far Cry 5.
Oh.
My third favourite game of the year. I have to admit, it possibly would have been a little bit higher if the DLC didn't suck balls. Because it really does. So we talked about it fucking loads at the beginning of this year, didn't we, when Far Cry 5 came out?
That's because Far Cry 5 was fucking amazing.
It was fucking amazing. It had the Far Cry bad guy. Like, the bad guys in Far Cry are superb. They're the best things about it. And Father Joseph and his family, they were all fucking great. There was a point at about 2/3 of the way through where the grind was starting to get to me a little bit. But it wasn't bad at all. I mean, especially for a fucking Ubisoft game. Ubisoft games, I usually get about halfway through and really want to just give up and poke something through my eye so I don't have to look at them anymore. But Far Cry 5, I was happy. I was excited to play through, and I was excited to get to the end. I was excited to play a little bit more afterwards, and I really wanted to get in the DLC. I've played 2 of the DLCs. So I think the first one was called Hours of Darkness, which was the Vietnam one.
Yep, Vietnam stuff.
Which lasted about an hour and a half. Was kind of fun. Was short, I say, hour and a half. Pretty straightforward. No worries. I think I've done it in 2 sittings, one before and one after my dinner, one Thursday. And the other day I put on Lost on Mars, which is a bit bigger, but pretty fucking boring. It's got a couple of good funny bits. It Herc's back in this one.
Ooh.
I still haven't played it.
Haven't what, Far Cry 5 or Lost on Mars?
Yeah, Far Cry 5. You know what? I've had too many big open worldy games this year. I just wanted to give it a break, but I will play it based on so many people I've spoken to told me how good it is.
It is a shitload of fun, but I get the open world thing completely. This is why I haven't played Assassin's Creed yet. And anybody that's listened to 3 episodes of this show will know how big a fucking Assassin's Creed fan I am. I can't. The thought of sitting down for another 50-hour fucking game. I don't care what franchise it is. Just makes my teeth itch. I can't be dealing with it.
Yeah.
But Far Cry 5, it came in early enough in the year for me to still be excited. It came at a good point when it was relatively quiet-ish. And a couple of big games came around at the same time, so Far Cry 5 and another that will probably get mentioned later on in the show. But I really enjoyed it. You know, it was fun. I never wanted to turn it off because I was bored. I never felt like I was being, you know, kind of corridored through. There were a couple of bits that were really fucking tough, like frustratingly difficult, but didn't feel cheap. So when you got through it, it felt like, oh, fuck yeah, I've accomplished something in a video game, but I've accomplished something. I liked it a lot. I think you could do worse than play Far Cry 5. You could do much worse than play Far Cry 5. That's me.
Cool.
That's,
I'll definitely stick it on my list anyway. So yeah, that's definitely
makes a good number 3 on the Brooker list.
But this is the thing, you know, we were talking yesterday about like playing, you know, replaying games and stuff like that. Half of the games I want to play next year are games that are coming out this year because I don't have that fucking time to get to them. By the time I get to the end of next year, all of next year's games are going to be in my backlog because I'm still catching up from what, frankly, 2015.
I've got 168 games that I've not played.
Yeah, I
168. It's never going to get done.
I don't think I'm far behind you, to be honest with you, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number 3.
Cool.
Lee,
Noted.
what we got? Number 3. Go for it.
Okay. So I think after much deliberation, my number 3 is going to go with Darksiders 3.
Okay.
All right. Go for it.
So it starts off a little rough, and it's a bit of a learning curve based on the other 2 games because the other 2 were, I don't know, once you'd played the first one, the second one felt very familiar.
Yeah.
And everything in the second game, despite the things that they'd added to it, it still felt like the first game just expanded on. 3 doesn't feel like the first 2 games at all. It's a completely different setup. It's a completely different idea. It's more of it's got the look and kind of heart and soul of the first and second game, but it plays like sort of more of a Dark Souls-esque kind of thing where, you know, you die, you lose all your credits, and then you go back and collect them. Well, credits are souls in this one, but so you go back and collect them from where you died, and if you can't get back there, then it's tough tuckers basically. But there's no sort of blocking mechanism. It's all dodge. It's all dodge mechanism only. So there's, you know how that works. I don't need to spell it out.
I'm okay with that, to be honest. That interests me because I suck at parrying.
Yeah.
I always have done. Every game I've ever played, I've sucked at parrying, so I always just dodge out of the way and just run round back and smack shit out of them from behind.
Yeah, well, instead of parry, you've got basically dodged at the last second.
Yeah.
So you get a bonus bit, you know, you get sort of slight counter attack or whatever. But, you know, there was a couple of things that bugged me in it. There's no chests.
What?
Yeah, and there's no gear like there is in 2 either. And the ending doesn't quite live up to the Darksiders 1 ending, but I mean that's a tough ending to live up to. That's a fucking tall order.
Yeah, because I said the same thing about 2.
I did really enjoy it. Yeah, I did really enjoy it. So yeah, it's good. I'm just hoping that they introduce a new game plus because there isn't one at the minute.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, and I've paid for the DLC already because I bought a digital version. So I think they've already announced kind of what it is because basically people have been asking for it, but we'll see. I think it's like the Crucible and some other stuff.
Nice.
So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Yeah, my number 3.
Everyone loves arenas.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's already on my list to get to at some point. Another one where I wish I'd bought that instead of Red Dead Redemption. Go on then, John.
Okay, so my number 3 is, as Brooker said, literally a couple of seconds ago, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Only 3rd?
It's my 3rd. So it's...
You haven't stopped playing it.
That's the thing.
That's because he has to travel back to camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was very fortunate, I guess, in that I managed to be able to sink 60 hours into the story pretty much consecutively. So I got through the story and finished it and didn't really suffer the same sort of issues that either of you two did with the way that the story went through. So because I was able to follow it at a decent pace the whole way through,
I have no
the
issues with the
story ended up.
story in Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
I have issues
I
with the
thought the
fact it
story was
takes me
brilliant.
40 minutes
Well, it is
worth of
brilliant.
walking to get to the story.
Yeah,
And it's so fucking beautiful as well. I can't argue with that.
yeah. I think that's the main reason to why it takes so long to get around the place is because they've spent so much time making it look pretty that they've gone, oh shit, we need to make it so people actually can see how pretty it is.
Yeah.
But I had one of my friends round when I was setting up the new TV in the living room, and after we set the new, we put it and fit it where it needed to go, and I was just doing the casual playing with the remote, trying to set it up. He was playing Red Dead for the first time in 4K, and he was blown away by how amazing it looks in 4K, seeing as he's only got a 1S, whereas us not common people have X's.
Oh, it does look gorgeous.
Yeah,
I won't take that away from it at all. It looks amazing. Like, scary levels of uncanny valleyness.
Yeah, it's absolutely breathtaking in some places.
yeah. So he was trying to ride through well, the bayou, the swampland area, and it's nighttime and foggy, so it just looks really fucking eerie around there. And the online section to the game, now that that's gone live, is also actually pretty fun. Being in the beta, though, the actual story to the online bit, as we have it at the moment, is all of about 9 missions in length. It's not particularly massive, but I could quite easily just fire it up right now and just sit in the online and just go fishing because it's soothing, relaxing. It's something that's been missing off of my palette for a while in terms
Yeah.
of games. Just having something that doesn't stress me the fuck out
Yeah.
while trying to play it, trying to have fun. I
Fair
could
enough.
just sit there and play it. To be fair, Far Cry was the same. That had a really good fishing element to it. You could spend a whole fucking hour just sitting there, just throwing the rod into the water and just
Yeah.
seeing what came out.
Fair enough.
Well, there's legendary fish in Far Cry, isn't there? Or is it more of a just you needed to find a record size fish in each lake?
I don't remember.
I think. I can't remember really. But yeah, Red Dead's my third place. Really enjoy playing the game. I still enjoy playing the game now, even in the multiplayer stuff, just fucking about, really. It's more it's more GTA Online style. You just do whatever the fuck you feel like doing for making money, and then pissing that money away on making your character look different to all
Fair
the other
enough.
characters.
See, I
It's-
kept saying I'd stick Red Dead Online on. And I can't be asked. Every time I look at it, I go, no, I'd rather play something else.
They've given away 2 incentives, I guess, or rewards.
It's one of those
But for
incentives,
loyalty?
my money back.
No. Well, actually, kind of, if you think about it, yes. Because one of those things is if you played it in the first weekend, they gave you 15 gold bars. And then if you played it between the first weekend and like last Tuesday, they gave you another 15 gold bars.
Nice.
And they've put the prices out, and I think 30 gold bars is like 20 quid. So
Oh, all kinds of up your ass, Rockstar.
yeah, I think
Are they not making enough money?
so. The microtransactions, or what they've been referred to now as mica transactions.
Good one.
Yeah. I think that you've still got the whole. There's a £90 one. And it's only like 150 gold bars.
£90 is not a microtransaction.
No, that's
That's a
buying the
transaction.
game. That's
It's not even
buying
a fucking transaction. That's a
It's fucking wallet rape, is what it is.
6 days' wages.
It's basically buying 2 more video games, or just not buying 2 more video games if you're gonna do
That's
that.
like I don't pay 45 quid for a game. That's 3 or 4 games for me at 90 quid.
Yeah.
It's 1.5 Switch games.
Bonkers. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love Red Dead. I thought it was brilliant. It was beautiful. The side stories were great. The the story was brilliant, but I just can't get away from the fact that it just felt ultimately it felt really drawn out because I had to walk everywhere. It really fucked me off. Like sometimes I don't want to, if I've got a pelt that I want to clear off, I don't want to walk for fucking 4 hours to take it anywhere.
No.
Yeah, just that's, if it's somewhere that you've not been on the map, fine, force me to walk there. But for fuck's sake, just let me fast travel back to camp. That's it. In fact, the only quality of life change for me that I think that would make that game even better is fast travel to camp.
Yep.
That's it. And you can walk, from camp you can go to the major towns, and then from the major towns you can walk everywhere. That would be enough.
Yeah, I'd take that. Just literally, if they'd done that, I'd pick up Red Dead Redemption again tomorrow, gladly, just to finish the fucking game because I really want to finish the story. I just cannot be asked. I can't be asked with walking. I can't be asked with you must get this, Lee. I don't have hours and hours and hours to fucking game anymore. I just don't. I've got a job.
I'm the same, mate. I'm the same.
I've got a wife. I've got a kid. I've got a dog. I've got things to fucking do. What I don't want to do is waste my precious time walking for 45 minutes. If I was going to do that, I could go to the gym and actually walk for 45 minutes. Or, take the dog for a 45-minute walk. All of these things are preferable to paying £90 for the privilege of watching a digital horse for 45 minutes just shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that my main memory of RDR is going to be watching my horse's arse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just strolling through countryside. That's going to be my main memory because that's all I seem to have fucking done.
That and the genuine, proper, sheer anger at forgetting that once again I need to fucking equip all of my weapons before I get off of my horse.
every fucking time.
Cunts. Don't give me
at
that.
least you still got your pistols.
That's not around in the online. When you get off your horse, you have your guns on you. So it might have actually been fixed in a quality of life change for the actual single player.
Can you imagine how little people would play that online? Can you imagine how little people would play the online if they kept having to arm at themselves every time they got off their horse?
Get off the horse, have to pull out all your guns. By then, someone's already shot you to death.
You couldn't play with other people.
No.
It would literally be impossible. But fast travel to camp. I would gladly, I'd gladly pick up and play. And an only slightly added thing, I would like it to go, "Are you sure?" when you click on the map and go, "I want to travel here." Because I was just seeing if it would do it, and it did, and I didn't want to be there, and then I had to walk back to camp for 45 minutes. I was equal parts angry at the game and myself at that point, and turned the game off.
Yeah, I've seemed to have been playing it for a very long time, but I think it's because I get sort of 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours tops a night if I'm going to play, and if you spend a lot of time just like wandering between place and place, it just eats time. Yeah,
it feels like a frustrating waste of my precious gaming time.
Especially if you're easily distracted.
Yeah, I wouldn't deny it on anyone's top 3 though. Definitely.
Oh God,
wouldn't,
no,
because,
absolutely not.
It's really, really good. It is really good.
It's really good if you can throw enough hours into it in one sitting, and you don't feel like you've just wasted your afternoon that you could have been spent doing other things that weren't watching the back of your horse.
Yeah,
exactly.
But I mentioned this when we were talking about it before. I had a similar experience with GTA 5. I just don't think Rockstar games are for me anymore. I genuinely get that feeling. I'm like, well, maybe I don't need to play Rockstar games anymore, or at least I don't need to spend £90 on them.
Yeah, I really don't understand why you spent all that money on Red Dead, seeing as how much you really didn't want to do.
Because I fucking adore Red Dead 1.
Yeah, but most of the reason you spent that £90 was online stuff.
No, I purposefully bought a version of the game that had DLC for the single player. None of my DLC is for the multiplayer.
Okay.
I did that on purpose because I didn't care about the online stuff. I wanted extra missions and things for the single player.
I don't know if those extra missions actually show up to me.
I don't know. I don't know if I got them. If I didn't, I know nothing.
I don't know where they fit in. I can't remember any of the extra stuff, apart from the free guns, which made makes everything a lot easier when you have access to free guns.
Yeah.
Especially in the online stuff as well, having access to free guns is really fucking useful. So you don't end up being stuck with all the shit rifles everyone else has, even though everyone just runs around using the varmint rifle because it's got the fastest accuracy.
Yeah.
And a headshot kills pretty much everyone.
Nice.
So yeah, varmint rifle.
That sounds broken.
It does a little bit, doesn't it?
Walk into a crowd of people, pull out a varmint rifle, kill all of them really fucking fast because no one can stop you.
Yeah, I roll with the Lancaster repeater. It's my solid favourite. But then I don't go online, so maybe I'll go with the varmint rifle now.
Yep, varmint rifle is love. Varmint rifle is life.
You know me, I don't do online unless my friends are doing it. So we'll see. I may or may not use it at some point.
It's a really weird way to describe peer pressure.
Yes.
Brooker, what's
Yes,
your second shittest game of the year? Or second most disappointed game of the year?
Yeah, I don't want to say. I don't just want to do shit games. So my first one will be a shit game, like an actual, genuine shit game, and that's going to be The Quiet Man.
Wait, have we moved on to shit games now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But that's how we roll.
Well, this is
Right.
why it would have helped if John had explained what we were going to do before we went into the things. So it would be your number 3, then your number 2 shit, then your number 2 good, then your number 1 shit, then your number 1 good. So at least we end on a positive.
Yes, good shout.
Blended together.
Excuse me. So, yeah, The Quiet Man is my worst game, my second worst. My second most disappointing moment of the year, I think, possibly. There are a few that could sit in the number 2 ranking. I think The Quiet Man has to be it. It's just a fucking terrible game.
I remember when you played it.
It's a £15 monstrosity. I would rather staple my dick to a car and let it drive off with me taped to a wall somewhere. I don't want to ever remember having to play that game. It was fucking awful. Some of the worst combat ever made. A terrifyingly, stunningly shit story.
Is that the deaf guy one?
Yeah.
Is that the one where you go to a cutscene that he ain't even in and you're still deaf?
And he's still deaf.
What the fucking shit?
I was like, the first time it happens, right? So that you're him and you get this scene and you're like, oh, this is interesting. This could be interesting because it is. It's like it's basically like it's like a dull hum in your ear. You can't hear anything. All you can hear is that, and you can see that people are saying stuff but can't see it. I can't hear it. And you go, well, this is interesting. I've seen films do stuff similar. And I've watched silent movies. I've watched entire movies with no dialogue in at all that are absolutely spectacular. This was not. And the first time you have that the dialogue free thing, oh, this is kind of cool. And then, yeah, like you say, there's a scene where he's not even in it, and yet you still can't hear anything. Well, this is just a bizarre design choice. Maybe they just couldn't be asked to get voice actors in, so they made the character deaf. I don't get it. I don't get the appeal. I don't understand how it went from the kind of cool looking game that was advertised at E3 to what we got. And what annoys me more is I had to play this fucking game all the way through and then get to a timer at the end that said there was going to be a DLC or a patch that then gives me sound. I was like, well, if you can't go all in with your selling point of deaf guy, don't try. Don't realise that you fucked up completely and then give me all the voices. This game doesn't need to exist. One of the worst things I've played this year. Definitely the worst game I played that came out this year. I played some fucking terrible games, but some of them are from like '96. I played some awful games this year, but yeah, for 2018 games, Quiet Man was awful, terrible. Don't bother.
I remember looking at Quiet Man what was it, E3 that it was announced.
Yep.
And it looked interesting,
Yeah.
based entirely on that one cutscene.
I should have listened to Jim Sterling, and I should not have fucking bothered.
No, you're probably right. Jim Sterling's very rarely wrong.
I like Jim Sterling a lot. But yeah, that was terrible.
I'm never going to touch that shit.
I wouldn't bother. I would rather touch actual shit.
I'd rather
Someone
shit
else's.
in my hands and clap.
Yep. I know. I'd rather someone else shat in my hands than I clapped.
All right then.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit happening on this episode.
Well, talking
And
about the
some
Quiet Man.
meaty stuff too.
Everyone
Yep,
likes a bit of
meaty
meaty
shits.
goodness.
A nice meaty shit. Right, Lee. Number 2 of your not
Number
so
twos.
good stuff.
My losers. The losers list, number 2. Okay, so I don't know. This may surprise some people. It might not, but I'm going to go with Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Okay.
So yeah. So I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as good as the last 2. The acting in it felt really, really hammy this time round.
Yeah.
I couldn't relate to Lara Croft anymore because this time round she's just a spoilt, selfish little twat, basically. And also she's turned into this fucking psycho killer who literally buries ice pickaxes in people's skulls and then goes and just starts talking to people like nothing's happened. I'm like, you fucking just absolutely butchered 20 people. How the fuck are you still walking like you're a 20-year-old lass? It's not even remotely endearing anymore. It's just bonkers. I mean, I don't know. It's real tough. It's just a zero. I don't know. Fucking butchering people in the most horrific ways and then just carrying on like nothing happened. I mean, based on the way that she's killing people, I was thinking maybe it's time that they should really get to making another Manhunt game. If they could get away with it now, and Lara Croft could be the main character based on this game.
Really?
Yeah.
It's still sat on my shelf. I haven't fucking played it yet.
Like, I'm not spoiling anything, but there's one where like she literally like hangs people by a fucking rope in a tree.
Fucking
I'm like,
hell.
what? So yeah, no, you know what? The story was fine. I mean, the ending was like, what the fuck? But the story was fine. But it just sort of got, I've forgotten what the story was all about. Well, all I can remember is her being a fucking psychopath. So yeah, that's got the losers list for me this year.
Nice.
And I hope they
Tomb
can
Raider,
redeem
got it.
themselves with another one because I loved the first one, and Rise of the Tomb Raider was great, although a little forgetful. But yeah, so
Yeah, see, I loved the first one. Was fucking amazing, and I replayed it this year and really loved it.
yeah, it's brilliant.
And then I went back and played Rise again, and it was okay. Wasn't the best. I enjoyed it, but it was a little bit up its own arse.
Yeah,
And I don't think a game like that needs a fucking central hub or side
No.
missions. But apart
yeah.
from
Wait
that,
till you play this one if you thought that was its own arse.
yeah.
The other thing on this one that I found quite odd is they introduced loads of new stuff that you could do in terms of like ways to attack people, and mostly, but there was a few other things that she could do she couldn't do in the other games, but it didn't really tell you what they were. So
Okay.
it felt really odd that she had all this new arsenal and you had no fucking idea what how to do it and when you could use it and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, it's worth a play. But I've not played that many games this year, so that's came lowest
Yeah.
on this list.
That's a shame.
Well, actually, hang on. Yeah, that's lowest on the list, I think.
You're almost the least good game ever. Is a Tomb Raider game. All right. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that from you, Lee.
Well, it's only, like I said, it's only 2018, and I've only played 9 games that were released this year, so I didn't really have many to choose from.
Is that why you've come up with this challenge for next year? Is because you don't play anything from this year?
Yeah. Well, yeah. But the main thing is, like, out of those 9 games that I've played that were released this year, I've only actually really played 7 of them.
All right.
And having to choose 5 for a list didn't leave many spares.
Okay, so when we get to the end of this, I'd be interested to know what your spares are that didn't make either good or bad lists.
Yeah, they were in the middle.
The middle ground. Although not a lot of middle ground, but there is some.
Two middle ground, 2 honourable mentions, I think.
Cool. So, because Lee clearly didn't play any games this year, I'm going to mostly question you on this one, Brooke. Did you play Metal Gear Survive?
Fuck no.
Yeah. I really wish I was with you on that count.
How big a fucking retard do I look? I'm not playing that shit.
It looked fucking terrible.
It was fucking terrible.
Let's be honest about this. I'm not Metal Gear's biggest fan, but Metal Gear without Hideo Kojima is not Metal Gear. I don't care what you fucking call it. It ain't Metal Gear if you don't. And he's a lovely man, is Mr. Kojima, but I don't rate his games that highly, and I don't rate him that highly as a fucking director. The dude should be making movies, not video games. But yeah, I wouldn't play a Metal Gear game that he wasn't involved with. What would be the fucking point?
That game tickled me because when I seen the premise for the game, all I thought was, are they fucking joking?
It does look like an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, and I'm sure they probably released it on it. Like, I thought, come on, look, everyone loves COD Zombies. Well, not personally, but when the people that play COD love COD Zombies, are they just taking the piss, thinking that they could just do fucking Metal Gear Zombies and it'd be successful? They're fucking idiots.
Yeah. So, like, this is the second worst game I played this year, so that really shows just how bad the first game is on the list. But it does absolutely scream, we're going to put Metal Gear on the name of this game and people will buy it. Or at least we hope people will buy it. Because, like Brooker, I'm not a massive Metal Gear fan. I think I've owned all of them. I don't think I finished any of them, including the prologue to the most recent one. I don't think I finished that either.
I've owned them all. I finished all of them except for 5. I played Ground Zeroes. I didn't actually play 5. I do want to. This is the thing. It's installed on my Xbox.
Yeah.
I want to play 5, but again, it's a massive fucking open world game, and I cannot be bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
So, yeah, 5 and Ground Zeroes are both installed to my Xbox. At some point, they might get played.
Yeah.
It's unlikely that they will get played while I still even have a fucking Xbox. But Metal Gear Survive is not a good game in the slightest. It's not fun, which is something that video games are supposed to be. And as Lee said, it's COD Zombies, but COD Zombies was only good 5-ish years ago when, well, it was Nazi zombies and then Black Ops 1. And from then on, it's just more recycled. We're going to bring back maps from previous iterations of Call of Duty because we can't come up with anything original, and people really liked the ones from the first 2.
Well, if people are still buying your shit, why change it?
Well, I mean, the latest iteration of COD, people are playing mostly Blackout and Zombies, which is why they keep doing Super X, Triple XP weekends on the actual multiplayer, because no one's fucking playing it.
That's a shame.
They keep putting new content into Blackout, and all of that content is actually just characters.
Blackout must be making the money, because apart from people like me who specifically don't like Battle Royale games, everyone I know that's played it is enjoying it.
Blackout is what PUBG should have been when it was released. Blackout is fun, it's interesting, the mechanics actually work quite well, it doesn't have any shit lag, and they're constantly updating it with new and interesting things. Like now you can actually see where people are gliding in because they've got flares on their legs.
Nice.
So you can actually see the trails of smoke of the people, so you know roughly where everyone's going when you're flying in, instead of being completely overrun by a random person just start punching you in the back of the head as you race to find the first gun.
Yeah.
So yeah, Metal Gear Survive is COD Zombies with no entertaining factor whatsoever. It's for a Metal Gear game. They're supposed to be at least humorous. This isn't.
Oh dear.
Or at least have some cool superpowered shit.
Yeah, or like a horse pooping and making cars spin round. Having a horse that can poop on command is what I expect from Metal Gear games. This does not have that.
See, 2 years ago, when Kojima fucked off from Konami and decided to do his own thing with Sony, everybody thought that would be the death of Metal Gear Solid. Turns out, actually, the death of Metal Gear Solid is turning it into a fucking zombies game.
Yep. There we are. So that's my. I'm not going to even call it disappointment. I'm just going to say it's the shit list.
It's just shit.
Yeah.
It's just fucking just don't go anywhere near it. Shit.
Yep. I'm glad I didn't buy it. That's just the only thing that I can say about it, is that I'm just glad I didn't buy it.
It's multiplayer as well, isn't it? Only.
Pretty much exclusive, yeah.
Oh, great. So if you do buy it, anyone, then you're going to be playing it on your fucking own because no one else is playing it. Shit. I bet they've closed the service down for it already.
They might not be closed yet, but it is Konami. They are well known for closing servers very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So, Brooker, number 2 on the good list.
Okay, my number 2 might be controversial.
From you? No.
Might be. Only because of where it sits on my list. My second favourite game of the year is God of War.
Ooh.
Now, I'd have said what Colin tweeted was controversial for God of War.
Well, yeah, but Colin also sold a PlayStation, then bought another one, and has probably sold it in the time it took me to say that. So, yeah. But no, God of War, don't misunderstand me at all. God of War is a fucking brilliant game. It's not just one of the best games I've played in 2018, it's one of the best games I've played this generation. It's gorgeous, it's a fantastic story. They've somehow taken Kratos, whose sole character development arc is Angry Man is Angry, and turned him into a dad and a widower and made him really fucking interesting. They've plucked him from the Greek mythology, where the dude has literally gone through a pantheon of gods, and dropped him into Norse mythology, which is probably we're up there with Egypt for my favourite kind of mythology things. I don't know what you'd call it.
Mythologies.
Mythologies.
Can you have a favourite mythology?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm with Norse or possibly Greek.
I'm going to go full Norse on this one.
Yeah, see, for me, a lot of it's Norse and Egyptian. I love Egyptian stuff. I find Norse legends tend to be more... The stories behind them tend to be more interesting. And I really like how that was brought into God of War without rubbing it in your face. If you didn't understand those stories, you didn't understand what was going on. But if you knew the stories, when you watch these things happen in God of War, it made a lot of sense. None of them I can explain here, because all of them are spoilers for the game. And even almost a year later, I'm not going to fucking spoil, because if you haven't played God of War, fucking get on and play God of War, because it is one of the best video game experiences you'll have this year. I have to admit, so after 7 God of War games, 4 of them being pretty shit, 5 of them being pretty shit, no, probably 4. 1, 2, and 3 were great. The 2 PSP ones were awful. Ascension was fucking terrible. What was the other one? Doesn't matter. I wasn't really excited for God of War. I wanted to play it at some point. Wasn't excited to go out and buy it straight away, even remotely. But because of the way it kind of landed release-wise, I grabbed it and I couldn't put it down. And they've taken this game that I didn't really care about, this world that I'd kind of pretty much given up on, and they made me interested in it again. Again, they made me interested in the character, Kratos as, old dad God of War, who is, excuse me, is equal parts seems to fucking hate his son and also love him at the same time. He's got to get through all these insane worlds, and these gorgeously put together worlds as well. Like, each of these realms looks completely different, and it looks amazing, and it feels amazing. And the fucking combat, Jesus Christ. Every single hit with that axe feels like it hurts. The combat feels solid. The combat feels, you could pick it up and just mash one button and feel like you're doing well. Or, if you can feel your way around the combos, if you can feel your way around the parries and the extra attacks and stuff like that, and you feel like a complete badass doing it, but it doesn't matter if you can't. I would call God of War a near perfect video game experience. The only thing that doesn't put God of War up as my number one, I don't feel the need to go back to it. I really, really want to, but looking at it next to my PlayStation, I go, nah, it can wait. And I'll explain a bit more when we obviously get to number one. But yeah, if my number one game of the year didn't happen, I'd still be playing God of War now, I think.
All right. Honorary mention to the word of the year in video gaming, which is boy.
No, I fucking hated that. It was great in the game. It didn't bother me in the game, and then it turned up on every fucking meme everywhere. And then, like a fucking decent rock song that gets overplayed on the radio, and now I hate Bon Jovi.
Yeah. See, I call my lad Sprout, so it wouldn't have had the same effect, I don't think.
No.
Sprouts!
I call mine Butthead.
Yeah. No, don't go that way.
Butthead.
I might have to get him to say it. Yeah, no, I'm fully with you on God of War. Yeah.
Right. Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
What's number two?
You want a number two out of me?
Yep, I want you to shit all over your good game.
Okay, so Spider-Man, PS4.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was my number two. Great story. Looks great. Plays great. Slick as fuck. They absolutely nailed the web swinging. Well, all of Spider-Man's powers, really. I mean, they did sort of kind of have a little bit of an Arkham Asylum feel to the combat, but why fix something that ain't broken? Everyone knows that works. It works really well here as well. Obviously, they've changed it up because it's Spider-Man and he's a completely different kettle of fish. But the whole punch combo, parry, jump over, blah blah blah. Yeah, fantastic. It works so well.
I did see the Arkham combat thing kind of brought up as a negative a lot, and I was like, but why? But it works.
Yeah, exactly. Why? But why? If it's not, like I said, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Why not use something that's fucking brilliant?
Do you also tear apart other first-person shooters because they shoot like Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Of course not, because it fucking works.
So you can't do that in a first-person shooter because other games had a gun in it.
Exactly. Fucking idiots.
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, just fucking great all round. And obviously, I'm a massive Spider-Man fan. I'm a huge Marvel Comics fan. Spider-Man being my favourite superhero. But despite my love for him, he wasn't strong enough to take first place. And I think it's because there's been plenty of Spider-Man games before, and it didn't differ so much from previous Spider-Man games because you're swinging around and you've got a story. So it was kind of the same thing. except just done 10 times better.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely second on the list, Spider-Man.
I think
I'm
Spider-Man.
looking forward to all the DLC. I bought all the DLC. I've just not played any of it yet. I want to wait for it all to come out. I was going to smash through it a lot.
Yeah, see, I might grab the DLC when it's on a sale and maybe play it. I have to admit, I think if we were doing like a top 10, I think Spider-Man would be on the list. I don't think it makes my top 5.
Yeah.
Uh, the thing is, when I was playing it, I really enjoyed it. From the second I've turned it off, I've not given it a second thought.
Yeah.
I've not thought about it once. I don't. You know when you get a really good game that you love and you can't stop thinking about it and you want to go back and play more. And I'm sure you had that with Spider-Man, mainly because you're a Spider-Man fan and a comic book fan, and you know. But I'm like, all right, I'm done with it now. I'll just move on.
Yeah.
I have hamstrung myself a little bit this year by forcing my way through games and moving on to the next one quickly because I gave myself a challenge to do. But at the same time, you know, where I am at the moment, I don't. If you gave me God of War and Spider-Man to pick up now, I'd play God of War.
Yeah, and I wouldn't deny you that. It's, you know, like I said, that's what makes number 2 for me. It was a big one, and yeah, I did think about it when I went playing it. But you know, like I said, what you did with the challenge thing kind of gives you the benefit of being able to see the game for what it is. So if it doesn't capture you, like it's like listening to an album for the first time. If it didn't have anything to draw you back in to give it a second listen, then you don't bother.
No.
You know, and it's the same. It's the same for this. But for me, yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed it.
But again, I'm not saying it's a bad game, not even remotely. Like I really enjoyed playing it. The grind got me a little bit towards the end.
Yeah.
But no, I really enjoyed it.
I mean, if I was a few years younger, like sort of John's age, or probably slightly younger, you know, when you got a bit more time on your hands and you don't mind the whole messing about thing, you're not looking for a story and a finalisation on everything and stuff, and you just want to doss about, I'd have loved it back then because I could have just played it for hours.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I need, you know, I either need to get on to the next one or I need another story to listen to because my brain needs that now.
I do find myself, one of my biggest frustrations in games, not just this year, but like for the last couple of years, is when you hit, let's call it Act 3, when you get to the last act of the game, you can see the end of the story, and yet there's still 12 hours of game before you get to it.
Yeah.
I find that really frustrating.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, number 2, Spider-Man, PS4. Definitely worth a play. I mean, you can get it sub 30 by a couple of pennies now if anyone's interested.
So, okay, so you guys pretty much took a lot of the wind out of the sails because my number 2 is also Spider-Man. For all the exact same reasons, I'm a Marvel fan like Lee is, and just, well, comic book fan in general, I guess. It's got a really good story. They were pretty true to most of the characters that are in it. I was quite interested in the addition of Miles into the story and the way that his character progressed the way through, and actually playing as both him and as Mary Jane in the story itself as well for sections was actually quite strangely fun, rather than just playing as Spider-Man or, well, Peter Parker in the scenes with Octavius as well. And the web swinging was fluid and made sense when you were going around, and you couldn't go over certain heights in areas where you clearly didn't have a building to swing from. Going around Central Park was quite weird. But the story progressed nicely. And the only reason it's not my number 1 game is that after finishing it, I didn't look at it and go, I don't mind going back and playing it again. Rather than looking at it going, well, I wish I could play it again for the first time, which is, you know, an important thing for me to feel about a game when playing it.
Yeah.
The Last of Us had that, as did so many other games where after finishing it, you kind of look at it, go, can't play it again for the first time. It's not going to be the same.
No.
Seems
That's
fair.
the problem. That's the problem with being an adult.
Being a grown-up
and the
sucks.
problem with stories in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good game, and I'd love to have put it as my number 1 game, but I just can't.
Cool.
So, what is your bottom of the barrel? Your shittest of the shit?
Brooker, the
Your
biggest shit you've done.
the
biggest,
meatiest shit
Well,
on your pile.
the Excalibur of shits is not. It's kind of a game, and kind of not. It's one big giant disappointment for the year, and it's the fact that we, as a podcast, finally got a review game from Bethesda.
Yeah,
And it was
is
fucking,
a turd as well.
and it was a fucking Fallout game. It could have been anything. We've been doing this. This is our third end of year podcast. We've been doing this for 2.5 years. They could have sent us Doom. They could have sent us Dishonored. They could have sent us Wolfenstein. They could have sent us any of these amazing fucking games they've got. They sent us fucking Fallout. And what's worse, I can't do anything with it because it's got promotional copy shit plastered all over the front. I'm stuck with this copy of Fallout 76 for the rest of my goddamn life. Cunts. Absolute cunts. And I even sat and went, you know what, maybe this could be good. Maybe, because I haven't played a Fallout game for years. I never was a fan. But you know what? I like Bethesda as a whole. I like most things that come out of Bethesda. Let's give this a shot. And it was one of the worst games I've ever fucking played.
And that is why it's fucking less than 20 quid already.
A week after it came, less than a week after it came out was Black Friday, and it was sub 25 quid. Absolutely mental. It's awful. It's a terrible game, and Bethesda, I fucking hate you for getting me all excited and then you sending me this shit. Fuck them. That's literally. I've got nothing else to say. Fuck Bethesda. No, not really.
Cool.
No, I love Bethesda.
Join me, Brooker.
No, I won't.
Hate Bethesda. Bethesda is a shit company. They make shit games.
Oh, but they don't. But they
No,
don't.
They do make some good games.
Have
Doom
you,
is fucking brilliant.
Have you tried the Lee? Have you had a go at the black and white thing on Dishonored?
I've not, mate, no, but because I sent you that picture the other day, it looks fucking tight, so I think I might pick it up and have a go.
It's fucking gorgeous. I purposely installed both Dishonored and Death of the Outsider to have a go, and it's fucking gorgeous. It is so good. Like, one of my big things for next year, I'm going to replay probably all three, but at the very least I'm going to replay Dishonored 2 and Death of the Outsider. And probably try and do it all in black and white mode. Because it's like Schindler's List. It's all black and white, except for the blood.
Yeah.
And it looks like a Scandi noir film where it's all just snow and blood. That's what it looks like. It's just black and white and blood. It's so good. It looks amazing, and I can't hate Bethesda when they do shit like that. They could have sent me Prey, but no, they sent me Fallout.
Yeah, sorry, dude. I mean, I knew I was going to give that a wide berth.
I would never in a million years have bought it or even rented it. If I hadn't been sent it. But so I gave it a butcher's, and it turned out to be just as awful as I knew it was going to be. But I'm just so gutted.
I don't know. With Fallouts for me now, I loved 3. I thought 3 was great. Vegas was a fucking steaming pile of shit. And then 4 was just boring. So when this one got announced, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to bother.
Yeah.
And then they announced it was multiplayer. I was like, I'm definitely not going to fucking bother then.
Nah, it's utter bollocks. And I discovered afterwards, I don't know if you remember, when I said I played it, so I died, and then you spawn and then have to run and get your shit. Bit like in Darksiders 3, you have to run and get all the shit you dropped when you died.
Yeah.
So you can do that, or I discovered this afterwards, you can spawn closer to it for a price.
Ah.
Fuck you.
Sneaky.
All kinds of fuck you. So yeah, that's my worst gaming moment of 2018 was finally getting on the fucking Bethesda press list, and then we get Fallout 76.
That's why we were put on the press list, because they thought, well, we need to send this out to fucking everybody because we need to get something positive out of someone to put it on the box art or something.
Yeah.
Literally anyone. If anyone gives us a positive review, we can then use that.
Well, the only positive review was I didn't even get it early. I got it on release day because Bethesda don't send review code before the games come out anymore. They haven't done since Doom. So what's the fucking point? It's not even like I could go, yeah, this game was fantastic, and get them sales. The game turned up the same day as everybody that bought it did. And I had a 50 gig download for it as well, so I didn't play it till the next day.
Not doing fucker else, mate.
It's such a fucking shit plan. I mean, if you buy it digitally, then yes, you can actually have the game and play it on release day and everyone's happy. You buy it on disc, you wait for the store to open, you go pick your game up off the fucking counter, you take it home, you put it in, and you've got yourself a nice, probably dual layer Blu-ray disc right there, capable of holding, 50 gigabytes worth of data on it. You slide it into your disc tray, and it comes up installing 1 or 1.49 gig or something, and then downloading from the internet 49 gigabytes.
Yep.
That is some fucking meaty goodness of a download right there.
Yep.
Pretty much been the story of all games this year, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near it, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll advise anyone else to do the same.
No.
Yeah, I think there's at least one game that has an install if you buy it on disc copy now. I can't remember which one it was.
Well, Black Ops Black Ops had a 50 gig download if you had it on disc as well. So basically, the disc is your license to play the game that you have to download.
Yeah.
I think that was it.
Yeah. It might have been Red Dead, actually. It came on. Does anyone have the disc version of Red Dead to confirm this? But does it have 2 discs?
Yeah.
Installation disc and a playing disc, basically.
Yep.
Cool. There we are.
I put one in, it did about 20 minutes, and then I put the other one in, and now I just use one disc.
Cool. Yeah. This is the world we live in now, is that Blu-rays aren't big enough anymore. And some companies are going out there and saying, we'll actually let everyone play our game, and we'll put it out on 2 discs. And Fallout 76 is there with its 50 gig download.
Yep.
I suppose you wouldn't be playing Fallout 76 unless you were playing online.
No.
And that's why they think, fuck it.
Let's make everyone suffer. Everyone who doesn't actually buy games digitally, considering our game's going to drop down to below 20 quid within a week.
God, imagine being one of those poor bastards that bought a £60, £70 digital copy.
Imagine being one of those poor bastards that bought the limited edition that came with the canvas bag that turned out to be nylon.
Oh yeah, let's not.
They're replacing those though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Imagine being one of the poor bastards that's still fucking playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, fuck it.
So, Lee, your big steaming pile of shit game of the year. What we got?
Okay, so look, I've only got a handful to choose from, so I'm sorry, Colin, because I know you like this one, but it was Ni no Kuni 2. So, I don't know, I didn't not like it because I played it for 65 hours, so I liked it, it was the worst game I've played this year. I loved the first one, but I felt that this one had stepped away from what made the first one really good, and turned it into kind of an action brawler, which was fine, but they took away the whole collection thing. The first one was all about collecting the little fucking friendly people. I can't remember what they were called.
I've never played a Ni no Kuni game.
Yeah, so the first one was kind of like Pokemon. Imagine like Pokemon, you collecting Pokemon. I guess. I don't presume you've not played Pokemon either, but you get the gist. Whereas the second one, there are these things to collect, but they all look the same, slightly different haircuts and shit. So that it's like they'd taken that away, and instead they've put this whole mechanic into building a town, which was just a little tedious. The worst thing about this game was every single mission, and I'm not kidding you, every single side mission, every single fucking extra mission, every single fucking everything was a fetch quest. Every single pissing thing in that game was a fetch quest.
Bit like Darksiders 2.
No, it's worse than that. It's fetch questerific. I'm not kidding. There's one point in the town where I spoke to a woman. She wanted me to fetch her a bottle of water. I was stood fucking right next to the shop. I literally walked 2 seconds, got the water, took it back to her. And then she'd be like, "Oh yeah, thank you for the water. Now I need a potato." And you fucking taking a piss. The whole game, you just like, if you like fetch quests, play it because it's beautiful. It looks great, plays great. It's slick, it's fun. The story's kind of interesting and kind of fun. But if you don't like fetch quests, give this a fucking wide berth, a really, really wide berth, because there ain't nothing else to do in it. So yeah, sorry, Colin, but it's my biggest loser this year.
Awesome.
John?
Yeah. So my worst game of the year is one that I actually forgot the name of because I'm trying to not remember it. And I had to go
that's not how podcasting works, right?
What, that I'm trying to avoid remembering this game forever?
But not if you want to talk about it.
I don't want this game to ever be in my memory again. Unfortunately, we do this award show where I have to pick the worst game of the year, and yeah. So I'm going with Past Cure, which I believe I spoke about in a podcast at the very start of the year when I played it.
Yeah, it was quite early on, I remember that.
Is that the same hospital, Rip?
No, it's not. No. In fact, that actually game looks quite interesting.
Is that 2 Point Hospital?
Yeah,
oh yeah, that's it. I don't know, fuck knows.
So, Past Cure is not good at all in any kind of way. It's very, very poor. It's got the worst story that I don't even think it even really counts as a story. It's the gameplay and it's fucking shocking. The pacing is fucking terrible. You go in, you have a training mode where you do nothing but shoot mannequins, or sneak around mannequins. Really creepy porcelain mannequins that if you go too close will just stamp on your head. Instant one-hit kill. Into a stealth game where you sneak through a hotel, starting in the parking lot and working your way up to the top before a game no longer is a stealth game, and I turned it off because I just couldn't play any more of it. I think I got maybe 2-3 hours out of it and then sent it back to Boomerang because fuck playing that game any longer. Just no. I think that was the main reason to why I gave up on the I'm only going to play brand new games this year, because I realized just how much shit is going to come out between the start of the year and the end of January.
Nice.
Yeah, don't play it.
Why the fuck did you play it?
Did
you buy it?
No, I added every new game on the coming soon list at Boomerang and just let them send everything.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forget that you rent. Yeah.
And that was a big mistake. Just a big mistake. Yeah. Fucking wow. I don't understand how a game can be that bad. But apparently they must have made some kind of money out of it.
It was a small team though, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, I think it was a small team. I think it was like 4 or 5 people.
Oh, that is a small team. I don't know how small. I just knew it was. I remember hearing about it and remember it because it was right at the start of the year. Was it not January or something? Fuck knows.
Yeah, it was pretty early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a good game.
Well, I hope they did okay because obviously everyone needs benchmark to start from, I guess.
Yeah, and hopefully there's at least some talented people there that might be able to get themselves a bigger job at a bigger studio, but nobody likes to see people lose their jobs. But maybe if you're going to release a game like that, video game development is not in your best of interests. Find something slightly better to do. Right, Brooks.
Yes,
Number
mate.
one. Number one. The
I'm
game.
interested in this because he described God of War as a near perfect game, which in theory that makes his number one a perfect game.
Or nearer to near perfect.
I would genuinely call my number one game a perfect game. It's a game I've finished, and
Yay!
it's a no. But what I mean, it's a game I finished. I finished it a little while ago, and I'm still playing it. I'm still going back to it. When I turn on my Xbox, I go, no, I'm going to play this some more. I literally, when I was playing the Far Cry DLC, I went, no, I don't want to play this anymore. I want to go back, and I want to carry on playing Hitman 2.
Woo!
Seriously, lads. Hitman 2 is fucking amazing. I would genuinely call it perfect. It's got a couple of little bits that I really like kind of technically. So, first, because I own Hitman 1 and have it installed to my machine, I can play it through Hitman 2, which I think is superb. I'm also doing that now. I can't get any trophies for it, or achievements, sorry, but I can still play it. So I'm replaying the story for Hitman 1 through Hitman 2 and increasing my online rank, my in-game rank by doing it. I can read all the challenges, I can do all of that, and I know the fucking game pretty well because I've replayed Hitman 1 the week beforehand. I got in this afternoon, sorry, and well, no, it wasn't even this afternoon. No, it was. Sorry, I lie. I got in this afternoon. I checked through my emails and I saw the Character Unlock email account had a thing from Warner about Hitman 2 because they've just released a holiday Hitman pack. I turned on my Xbox. I was like, right,
Home Alone Hitman pack.
Yep, the Home Alone guys again, which I think is amazing.
That's funny. Legally distinct surnames.
Yeah. And legally ever so slightly different looking.
Yeah.
But only slightly. Yeah, so as whacked on the Xbox, I said to the wife, I got in, she was cooking food, and Nikita was watching Teen Titans, and I said, right, we've got to pause this because I need to quickly get this thing downloading. So I wanted to get the thing downloading, so I wanted to play it before we started the podcast today, because I wanted to see if it was any good. And I finished the mission. I didn't do it very well. I'm going to go back and do it again. But at every opportunity, I just want to play more Hitman. I can't stop thinking about playing Hitman. I can't stop wanting to play it. Lads, I finally got around to finishing getting to the end of the Patient Zero stuff from the Game of the Year edition of Hitman 1. And holy shit, it's insane. But I can't not play it. It's hands down best game I've played in fucking years. I can't stop thinking about it. The mechanics are great. I love me a good stealth game, and this is a fucking good stealth game. It's basically a giant puzzle game. Figure out the best way to kill somebody. I can't say anything bad about it. Even the stupid little pre-order bonus that you get with it, the sniper assassin thing, where you don't move anywhere, you're just you with a sniper rifle, and you have to take out people in this particular one, it's like an outdoor wedding, and you have to kill 3 people and all the bodyguards. I keep playing that. It's so shit. You can play it on your phone if you want to, but I want to play it on my goddamn Xbox because it's just so much fun.
I think I'm going to go for it based on the fact that you two have been loving it. I think I've not even played the first, the last episode one, 2016 one. So I've not played that yet either. I think the last Hitman game I played was the one before that.
Absolution.
Yeah. Oh
So
no, actually that's a lie. Technically, the last one I played was Go.
See, I loved
So
Absolution.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
Hitman
loved
is based.
Absolution. I thought that was great.
Hitman 2016 is all the good parts of Absolution, the challenge mode essentially.
Yeah.
So it's worth playing 2016 because I've been trying to play through 2016 a fair amount the last couple of months. I still haven't finished it, so I've not started Hitman 2, and I really wish that I could because it just.
But this is the thing: if you've got Hitman 2, stick the disc in and play Season 1 through that, because you unlock stuff by playing through those missions within Hitman 2.
All right then.
And that's why I've started doing them again. But this is what I mean. It will be the third time, maybe fourth time I play through some of those missions. I don't care. I just want to play it some more.
Those missions are pretty fucking spectacular.
But the ones in the second, there's one. I wouldn't even call it a duff one, but there's one kind of, yeah, that one wasn't as good as the rest kind of missions in the second one.
The Marrakesh mission from the first one it wasn't brilliant. It was fun. It wasn't brilliant.
Marrakesh mission was easy once you found the right uniform. You could walk fucking anywhere. It was amazing. But it's let's I don't quite know how to. Okay, so I'm playing the Santa mission this afternoon before the podcast, and Nikita's sitting with me. And when you kill the wet bandits, they drop everything that they've been trying to steal, which is awesome because like one of them dropped like a coconut and a circumcision knife and a soda can and a battle axe. And I was in stitches. I'm like, he fucking dropped the battle axe. I'm walking around this room with a fucking battle axe in my hand. And then the other guy walks in, but it's kind of in an emergency state, so I just choke him out. And I drag him around to where I'm going to hide his body when I'm done killing him. I'm like, right, battle axe. Nikita's sitting there going, cut his head off, Dad. I'm like, fucking hell.
What?
Unfortunately, it wouldn't let me hit him with the axe after I'd knocked him out. And it doesn't let you save the mission either, so you can't save and reload. There's no save point of use for that mission. But at the same time, I noticed that there's an elusive target, a new one for the second game. And now, I said to the wife, I don't know what my plans are for tomorrow, but I've got 44 hours to do this elusive target. I'm not doing anything until I've done it. So if we've got plans for tomorrow, they need to wait until after I've played Hitman. I'm now arranging my evenings around timed missions in Hitman 2 because that's all I care about. And I haven't done that since maybe Killzone 2's multiplayer days.
Yeah, definitely should pick it up then, I think.
So I think my main regret from Hitman 2 is that I didn't get to kill Sean Bean.
Ah, there was. See, my biggest. I wish there was a way to replay the elusive targets. I think it's a great mechanic. I think they can be really tense, and no save and load, none of that. If you've basically got one life and that's it. But I really wish I could go around and do it again, because as satisfying as it was to have an android decide that he was going to shoot Sean Bean in the face, I really wanted to do it myself. But I'm sure he's coming back, so I will do it again.
Just keep killing Sean Bean over and over.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they did set it up. The story behind the elusive target was that the ICA have killed him 12 times, and he keeps coming back. You know, his character name is the Undying, so I'm sure he'll be back at some point. There are 2 expansions due at some point for Hitman 2. So, yeah, I bought the gold edition of the game, so I will be getting the expansions when they come out. Hopefully he appears. But yeah, there's an elusive target. It's now, I think at time of recording, I've got 40 hours till it ends. and that's all I want to do. I don't care about editing the podcast. I want to go do the elusive target. But yeah, it's my game of the year, easily as well.
Cool. Good stuff.
Awesome. That's what we wanted to hear. Lee,
Yes.
number one, your best game of the games that you played this year and liked, most
Yes.
importantly.
God of War.
Good man.
So yeah, all the same reasons why it made your number two. Thought it was a triumph. You know, no more mindless combos like the first game. You had to, even though you could do the simple combos, you still had to be aware of what was going on around you because you couldn't see it anymore like you could previously. I love the fact that they went in a whole new direction and completely changed the game down to everything from the fighting to the story to, everything was completely different. It just basically ripped a character model out and then just completely butchered him. So I thought that was good. I love the fact that the layers to the story were introduced slowly throughout. And like you said, you didn't really need to know too much about them. It didn't cram them down your throat, but it was good at the same time for people that did know that stuff. As a father of a young boy, the story was pretty impactful for me as well. More so now, I think, than it would have been if I hadn't had my own son.
Yeah, stories change once you have kids, don't they?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, I'm slightly more emotional, but obviously it gives you the ability to see things from that point of view, which you didn't have before. And the game never felt drawn out. It never felt that they tried to extend it in places to drag out some time. It wasn't so open world that the game lost its pacing. Everything felt great to me, and I thoroughly enjoyed every minute that I was playing it. And I am looking forward to going back and playing it again at some point.
Yeah, no,
plus the AI for Atreus as well. That was great. The things that he was doing during fights was brilliant.
Yeah. And absolutely. It felt like he was helping.
Yeah, and there was never a time when I thought he was useless.
No.
So yeah, God of War, hands down for me this year.
God of War, good. Apparently,
Yes.
it's sitting on my desk, waiting to be put into my PlayStation to play it at some point. Ever. Next to Doom.
Wow.
And strangely enough, Smash Bros is sitting on top of it as well. But I have actually started playing Smash Bros and am kind of trying to play it as much as I can at the same time as not really having the time to play it. You can throw a couple of matches together every so often, but I digress. My game of the year is Far Cry 5.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I didn't have the DLC issues that you did, Brooker, because I just didn't play them.
That's fair enough.
But yeah, Far Cry 5 was all of the best bits of 3 and 4 together. You had a really phenomenal bad guy. And the strength of most video games when you play essentially as a mute chap is having an amazing bad guy. And yeah, he was fucking phenomenal. And I'm going to leak a little bit of our looking forward to's and say that I'm really glad he makes a reappearance.
Yeah.
In the New Dawn, Armageddon, Far Cry. What's it called?
New Dawn.
Yeah.
New Dawn.
It is New Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything about it, I adored. Even the grindy Ubisoft map eye rape that it was. I felt like it was completely worth it, and I did pretty much everything that was on offer. And I think if I was to do any kind of challenge next year that involves replaying games, Far Cry is definitely going to be on my list of games to replay. It has a new game plus, doesn't it?
I believe so. Yes, it does. Yeah. I don't know when it was added, but when I booted it up the other day, it said it had New Game Plus.
So yeah, having a new game plus, so I can right from the start, hopefully just go around with a cougar buddy
Nice.
and a bear, because why the fuck would you not do that combination?
It's awesome. You can pet the bear.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's just I love Far Cry 5, and I think I'd love to play through it again next year, and yeah, just everything about it was amazing. I can't gush over it enough.
Well,
Nice.
that's two games for me then that I need to play. Yes, I'll start them early next year then, I think. Why not?
If you want to play it, it's fully co-op, so shoot me a message anytime you're free, and I can jump in with you.
Cool.
It's literally jump in, jump out. So yeah,
Oh, great. Oh, yeah, we'll do that then. So, have we got any? Is there any middle of the packs that we want to have an honourable mention for? I've got a couple.
I think you should go with your honourable mentions just because you've only played 2 more games.
Yeah, yeah. 4.
You've-
So Red Dead. It needs an honourable mention. It didn't make my top 3, but it was definitely 4th. We've been over the details. Shadow of the Colossus, the remake. That was brilliant as well, although just as clunky as it was originally. But it looked great and played pretty good. And Forza 4, and I'll give a good mention for that one. The only reason why that game didn't make it the top few was just that it was pretty goddamn boring on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
yeah.
pretty boring on your own. But I tell you what, that game absolutely brilliant when you've got a friend there with you. And I played with John, and I played with another one of my friends as well. And it's
have
so
other
much
friends.
fun when you've got a friend.
No, I agree. Forza was really fun to play with you, Lee. Even and with
Even
the
though
other
you
people.
suck.
Yeah, I really fucking sucked that day. I have no idea what was
Every
wrong
day.
with me. Your mum sucks. Shut
You
up.
suck more than meaty goodness, mate.
Yeah, let Forza have an honorable mention on for me as well, and I'll give an honorable mention to Smash Bros. Because every minute I've played it, I've loved, but I just haven't been able to sink enough time into it since it came out, as it's only like 2 weeks old.
Yeah,
Can't really
enough.
can't really put it on a list of best games of the year.
I like it, but but I don't like it that much.
I'm looking forward to actually being able to play it with other people, which is probably not going to be until next September when we go to EGX.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Brooks, you got any?
I've got a few. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Far Cry New Dawn. I'm really looking forward to Rage 2.
Oh, we're on to looking forwards now.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were talking honourable mentions. No. Life is Strange.
Okay.
You can't really put it on a best game of the year list when you've only played a fifth of the game, but episode 1 was really good.
Has 2 just come out today or yesterday?
No, it comes out in January.
Oh, right. I've just seen a few things on it.
Yeah, they announced the release date today or yesterday. They announced
right.
it, and it comes out in like the 23rd of January or something. I can't think what other games I fucking played this year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold out on Life is Strange until it's all out again, just because that's the right way to play it.
No, see, it's not, because it gets, for me, it gets spoiled. And Life is Strange is the kind of game where it's easy to spoil. I'd rather spend the full price and just make sure that I'm ready to play it on the day that each episode comes out. Which tends to be how I play. Which tends to be how I play episodic games that I like. Let's put it that way. I suppose A Way Out. Loved A Way Out. No?
All right. Yeah. Actually, no. A Way Out would have made it onto my top 3 quite easily, if there weren't so many other games this year. So yeah, decent honorable mention, that one. Fucking loved playing with you on that one.
Yeah. That's it. That was a lot of fun, actually. Yeah, obviously, 'cause you had to play it in co-op. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, A Way Out probably an honourable mention. That's it, I reckon.
Cool.
Good stuff.
And now we'll let you have the games you're looking forward to next year.
Yeah. The games you're looking forward to in 2019, Brooker.
Far Cry New Dawn and Rage 2.
Yeah. I kind
really,
of knew you was going to say that.
well, I really want Rage 2 to be good because I really wanted
Me
Rage
too.
1 to be good, and it was bollocks. But
Yeah.
2 looks like fun. But I also think you look at a trailer for Rage 2 and then look at the trailer for New Dawn, and Ubi seem to be stealing a lot of their thunder because it's very neon and post-apocalyptic. And you're like, oh, bastards. I do feel a little bit sorry for Rage 2, but I will still probably buy it because I think it's going to
I've
be
got
a
Rage 2 on my list. I think it looks right up my street, that one, so.
Days Gone, assuming it comes out next year.
Yeah, presume.
Ever.
Metro, I'm looking
Good
forward to.
shout.
And actually, bigger than anything else, because I didn't go this year, I'm looking forward to going to EGX because it's back home.
Yay.
So,
I'm looking forward to going because I've got the whole week this time, or weekend, or 4 days.
Nice. Yeah, so we've got a place booked. It's going to be a laugh. And yeah, it's literally 10 minutes from where I grew up, so it's literally back home. So I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah. So, Lee, what are you looking forward to that isn't EGX?
Okay, so I've got a list of games, like I said earlier, that I'm allowed to kind of buy.
Pre-approved by the wife.
Yeah, so Kingdom Hearts 3, it's out in January. Anthem, it's out in February. Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Beyond Good and Evil 2, providing it comes out.
That ain't coming out next year.
Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077, maybe if it comes out. Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Jesus Christ, what have you just found like a rumour site?
No, these are all supposed to be coming out in 2019.
No, Final Fantasy VII don't happen next year. Neither does Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk doesn't happen until we get a new console.
Well, maybe, but we'll see. They're on the list anyway, just in case. Halo Infinite, pretty sure that's going to be 2019. Last of Us 2. Yeah. And one that I'm actually really looking forward to is Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yes, I haven't played Blind Forest yet.
Yeah, and Blind Forest is one of my favourite games. Well, definitely one of my favourite games. So, yeah, looking forward to that one a lot.
Awesome. My looking forward to games the same as Brooke as Far Cry, just because more Far Cry 5, basically. And I'm going to go exceptionally left field when I say this, and this is going to be completely unpredictable for you guys, and I'm going to say Anthem.
Yeah, because I didn't see that coming.
It's not that unpredictable. I managed to pick up the £75 edition for 42 quid.
Nice.
So, and I've paid for it already, so I presume they're going to have to honour it now.
Yeah, probably. Well, you'd hope, but EA would somehow manage to not do that.
No guarantee. But we'll see. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, so I'll be playing that with you, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, well, how many times do we need to be burned by EA?
A few.
And still be willing to risk it?
I don't know. How many times were you burned by Bethesda before you stopped playing their games?
Like twice.
Right, you should just give up on EA then, mate.
No, at least they put that report out about they pulled all the resource from Andromeda, and that's why that one sucked.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just that Andromeda sucked because organic reasons.
It didn't suck, it just wasn't very good.
Yeah. Yeah. So Anthem's my anticipated game at the same time as being not anticipated, just because I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm kind of on that same fence, I think. I want to play it because it looks right up there with the sort of thing I'd like to play. But then they've got to get that multiplayer balance right.
Yeah. And we need a game to replace Destiny, seeing as that's a thing.
Yeah. yeah. Although we should go back to 2 at some point.
Well, once you eventually buy the fucking DLC.
Yeah, well, it's 15 quid. I'm just waiting for it to be local, and then I'll pick it up.
Right. So that's essentially another year done.
Cool.
Got any plans for next year?
Yes. I'm going to get to work in the day,
Yeah.
in the week, and then I'm going to come home and do home stuff, and then I'm going to play games in the evening.
Nice.
No. So, so I wanted to put forward a little idea for the 3 of us, a little challenge for 2019, or not so much a challenge, just more of an excuse to go back and play 5 games from this current generation of consoles that you've really enjoyed to play, but have never really had a good excuse to go back and play.
Can I keep playing Hitman?
Yeah. I mean, they both came out on this console, and they both, so yeah, if you want to go back and play it again, do it. You can count it as number 1. It works for me. On my list, I've genuinely gone with things that haven't been a remake or a remaster, because I know there's been quite a lot of them in this gen, and for good reason as well, because some of the best stories came out on previous gens. So
yeah,
it made sense. So the 5 that I've gone with, and 4 of these were really easy. The 5th one, not so much. So I've gone with Halo 5.
All right.
Now, I loved Halo 5 when it came out, but then they enhanced it for the Xbox One X, and it's supposed to be the best enhanced game. So that was enough excuse for me to go back and play it. But so that was the first one on my list. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah, I've been itching for a chance to play that since I got my Pro.
Yeah,
obviously, with so many other games, I've just never had a chance to get back to it.
But I went back to Horizon Zero Dawn when I bought my Pro beginning of this year. I really enjoyed playing it a second time around, I have to admit, but fucking hell, I got about 2/3 of the way through, and I'm like, I'm loving this, but I need to hurry up and finish this fucking game so I can play something else, because I've seen all this before. We'll see. I mean, I'm looking forward to playing it again. Yeah.
I really am.
It's great. And second playthrough, especially in 4K on the Pro, it was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Uncharted 4.
Yep.
I can't remember much about it. I remember enjoying it, but I can't remember much else about it. So I think that's definitely one that I'm looking forward to playing again. Infamous Second Son.
Yeah.
Was the first game that I played on PlayStation 4. It was the reason I bought a PlayStation 4, in fact. And it did get a HDR update. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to going back and having a bash on that one. And those 4 were really easy for me to choose. But finding that 5th one, I should have just said 4 games, and then would have been nice and easy. But I said 5. So it was finding that 5th. And initially, I went with Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed it, and I remember enjoying it. But then when I read into it, there's been no update for it. There's been no changes. There's been no fixes. There's no HDR update. Xbox One X enhanced. There's none of that. So I thought, well,
what's the point?
Yeah, do I need to go back and play it? And so I looked through the other list of games that I'd made, and I've come up with No Man's Sky.
Okay. Which has changed.
Which
significantly
has, yeah. So I wasn't overly fussed about it because I wasn't looking forward to it. I bought it on a whim because I liked the look of it, and I played it, and I wasn't disappointed with it. I just found it a bit boring, and I never finished it.
Yeah.
And so that's just been sat there on, waiting to be played again. And obviously they've had myriads of updates since then. And the game is supposed to be brilliant in comparison to what it was. So I think that's good enough excuse for me to go back and play that. So that's my 5 games that I'm going to I am going to play again in 2019.
Nice. I'm 100% up for replaying a few games from this generation that I would like to go back to. Because when we were talking about this yesterday, Second Son, absolutely. I've been wanting to replay it since it got its HDR update. I've been wanting to replay it since before then. Because I lent my copy to a guy at work, and obviously we were talking about it as he was playing it, and I was like, I really want to play this game again.
Yeah.
Because I love Infamous. Frankly, if I could get copies of 1 and 2 on PS4 without having to have a fucking PlayStation Now subscription, I would play through them again, because I like 1 and 2 as well. The other games, I don't know. I think I'll say yes, I will try and finish 5 games that I finished before, but the list will be fluid, and we'll see how we go during the year, because I'm doing another film challenge this year. So last year I did a film challenge. I did 365 films in a year, which I fucking battered. So this year I done a game challenge, and I want to do a different game for every episode of the podcast. So 26 by the end of the year, which sounds quite low, but also, you know, the same constraints as we mentioned earlier. You know, wife and kid and job and, you know, life, things to do. So you can't necessarily find the time, and things like Horizon are massive games.
Yeah.
But I did that. I think I'm on 30 games now for this year, so I'm quite happy with that. So next year, I'm going to try and do 365 horror movies, which...
Oh, what? Okay.
Well, I mean, anybody that's listened to me talk about anything knows I love fucking horror movies. I could do nothing but watch horror movies for the rest of my life, and I'd be really happy. The challenge is watching 365 horror movies, because the thing with last year's challenge was anything I watched with Nikita counted. There are maybe 12 horror movies that I can show to Nikita. Well, without having social services called on me.
There's the line.
So the challenge is finding the time and the energy to watch 365 horror movies. I've got caveats in there as well, because I missed out on a lot of TV, because I was like, I'm not watching fucking TV, I've got films to watch. So if I watch horror-based TV, 90 minutes of TV equals 1 entry on my list. So I can actually get around to watching some fucking television. And I know full well that my challenge goes down the shit at the beginning of January when season 2 of The Punisher comes out, because I want to rewatch season 1 as well. But
yeah, I've just finished season 1. It was fucking ace.
See, Spider-Man's your favourite comic book character? He's mine.
The thing is, mate, where do you draw... What do you just... With terms to the horror movies, what do you designate as a horror movie? It's something that's in the genre.
Well, the thing with horror movies as a whole is it's a massive, massive fucking genre. And the thing is...
Yeah.
Because I said, do I just say, if I've seen it at Fright Fest, it counts? Because I've seen stuff at Fright Fest that is absolutely not horror movies, but they do fall into that. But it's a genre movie kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think
like Goosebumps.
Goosebumps is a horror movie.
Yeah,
but it's a kids' horror movie.
You could watch that with your lass as well.
Yeah, of course I can. Absolutely. Yeah. But
so that's what I mean. So there is a few you could. There's those sort of films, isn't there?
But things like with Nikita's, she's great because she watches a lot of like proper, like she loves like Gremlins and she loves like, Beetlejuice and stuff like that. All of which are horrors and all of which will count on my list. But there is a finite number of those kind of films, as she can't sit and watch Halloween and Hellraiser and Saw with me. Not yet, anyways. As much as she begs me to watch them. But yeah, 2019 is going to be tough. No, she's not fucking watching Child's Play. Absolutely not. We'll fucking scar her for life. She's not watching Nightmare on Elm Street either.
No, because she'd never sleep ever again.
Critters is a good shout, and actually she could probably watch Critters and be okay with it. Because it's just slightly more violent Gremlins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Blob.
Oh, The Blob's amazing.
Yeah, see, that's a horror movie. That's the one that stopped me wanting to watch horror movies when I was a kid. Because it scared the crap out of me. But then again, my dad didn't watch horror movies all the time, so...
It's really weird. Like I listen to a lot of horror podcasts, and there are a lot of people kind of like our age that go, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna let my kid watch absolutely anything," and we're fine. What got people like me into horror movies was the fact that we weren't allowed to watch those things. They were taboo. You had to sneak videos in from your mates like they were porn, and watch them when your mum and dad weren't around.
Yeah.
You know, if you just
And the bit where that guy bit the woman was always the bit with the worst tracking.
Yep.
Especially the bit with the meaty substances.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's my 2019 planned out. I think it's going to be tough.
Good stuff.
How about you, John?
So, I'm just flicking through my library of games that I've got and trying to find stuff that I've not played in terms of the Lee challenge that he's come up with. And so far, I'm pretty sure I have just Far Cry.
Fair enough.
There's a couple of others. The problem is that I've got so many games that I've not played from this gen that I've owned in some
Yeah.
way or another. That trying to play ones that I've already played a second time round, or some cases a third time, is a bit iffy.
Yeah.
Like Infamous Second Son, for instance, would be amazing if I didn't play it less than 3 months ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I played Infamous Second Son when it came out,
Yeah.
and I platinumed it less than a week later.
Yeah, as did I.
Yeah, so in terms of a game challenge, that's a good one. I think
We'll see how it goes. I'm doing it
I'll
just
try.
because I think I need an excuse to force myself to replay those games.
Yeah. See, that was kind of the point of my challenge this year, though, because I spent so many hours just wasting playing games. I thought, just carry on playing this. You go, well, hold on, I'd do a fucking video games podcast, and I've wasted 2 weeks doing shit in a game that I really didn't need to do, and now I've got nothing to talk about. So no, actually, let's get and play some fucking games. You know, so I was forcing myself to move on and get playing something else, even if it was. I played like Gone Home. I never would have played Gone Home if I hadn't have done this challenge. I never would have played Virginia either. You know, they were fucking great games as well, but no way would I have touched those fucking things if I didn't have this challenge this year.
Yeah. The challenges are interesting and they are quite useful to have. So it's a weird one to go for. It's nice to be able to go back and play games that I've played before, or just in general to actually be able to play games that I may have not played before.
Yeah.
Be quite nice, but who knows? Might end up actually playing more games next year than I did this year.
Maybe.
Just got to put those football managers down.
Yeah, that's always the problem.
Stop playing FIFA.
I can't. It just keeps happening. It keeps ending up on my Xbox.
It's because it's quick. It's because if you know you're not sitting down for a good length of time,
Yep.
you can bang it on.
Yep. And this is why I'm enjoying Hitman as well. Luckily, that suspend and resume is amazing. I couldn't do half the gaming I do now without suspend and resume. But you play Hitman, you go, oh, I'm in the middle of a mission. I'll just move and do this challenge. Then I'll pause it again. I'll come back to it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And because I know the game so fucking well now, I can do that. But I don't want to turn the game off. I want to keep playing it.
Yeah, I mean, just because FIFA is literally, I can pick it up and play it, and there's and that's a good 20 minutes, and I can just play that. Battlefield's another one that I can just pick it up, play a couple of rounds.
Yeah.
And
Red
Red Dead Online, just go out, do some fishing, or a bit of casual hunting.
I need you to put Hitman 2 on so we can play the multiplayer.
Yeah, well, just literally text me. That's all it'll take. Same with you, Lee, when you get around to Far Cry. Literally just send me a text and I'll drop whatever it is to play.
Yep, I will do that. What's that going for now? I bet it's sub 30, isn't it?
Far Cry? Oh yeah, easy. No one's spending money on Far Cry anymore.
No, probably not. Surprisingly expensive.
Yeah, well, I don't remember seeing the price had dropped very much, but I have seen it for 25 as part of a 2 for 50 offer.
Yeah, that'll work. If you can find something else you want.
Yeah, I'll keep my eye out for it. That and Hitman 2.
Yep.
And Hitman 1. Okay, so 21 quid.
Not
There you
bad.
go. Good price to buy a game for.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, I'll buy that
Yeah.
then.
So we're all content, and we've managed to convince Lee to buy some games.
Yeah, man.
I bought Far Cry just now.
Nice.
Digital or disc?
Disc.
Cool. Sweet. So that's pretty much everything.
Yeah.
We all content with the way that the episode's gone and the year itself.
Yeah, the year's
Yeah.
been alright.
Yeah, I mean the year's been in terms of like snowflakes and the internet and the news, it's been fucking terrible. But in terms of gaming, it's been fucking cracking. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was saying this to somebody the other day. I was setting my list up for the set the tape top 10 films of the year, and my top 10 films of the year changes dependent on my mood that day. I've watched a lot of fucking awesome films there. I know a lot of people have said, "Oh, it's all superhero shit." And no, I've seen some outstanding movies this year, and there's not a single fucking Marvel movie anywhere near any of my lists. You know,
I don't see what people complain about, but you know,
I
there's
do.
plenty of other shit out there as well.
Yeah, I think I do agree sometimes. Like the problem is when you've got a new superhero movie every 2 months and it takes up 3 screens in your 5 screen cinema, that is a problem. You know, because it's not for the people making the films, but if you want to watch something else, I've watched it up here. You know, the big films push the little ones out and you don't get a chance to see them, and that's how films end up getting pirated. But at the same time, I think I've enjoyed all the comic book films this year.
Aquaman.
I haven't seen it yet.
There we go. That's fine.
I was supposed to go and see it on Friday. Friday was supposed to be date night, and then some cunt drove into my wife and wrote off her car. And she's been laid up at home with fucking whiplash ever since. So I couldn't really sit her in a cinema seat for 3 hours like that. Not when your average cinema seat is like a goddamn Victorian torture device.
Yeah. Although you say that with the 3 screens in your 5 cinema thing, we live in a city that has a 14 screen cinema
Well, yeah.
and another cinema, and we still get almost no showings of any films that aren't the big ones when they come out.
Yep.
Oh, we've got a 5 screen, so we miss quite a lot of films that Georgie and I would like to go and watch together.
Is your local the tiny one at Resorts World?
No. It's a 5 screen Cineworld, but they don't show quite a few films, so we couldn't go and see A Simple Favour this year. We couldn't go and see Bad Times at the El Royale as well. That didn't show.
Yeah.
It didn't show in the first week, actually. I think they did put a couple of showings on the second week for some reason.
Yeah, see, our local, so the Cineworld in Milton Keynes is a 16-screen Cineworld, and Bad Times at the El Royale had 2 shows a day at 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock, and then week 2 it had 1 show a day at 9 o'clock, and it's a 2.5 hour long film. Literally the only reason I went to see it at 9 o'clock at night was because that would team me up perfectly to nip across to the Odeon afterwards, where they had a midnight screening of Halloween on release day. It's the only reason I done it. It's the only way I got to see El Royale, and that's a 16-screen cinema.
That's bad.
You know, when you get to that point, I do understand why people moan about the big films taking over everything, because it ain't just the superhero movies. It's fucking Star Wars movies take over everything. Pretty much anything that's got Disney over it just takes up half of whatever cinema it's in. Just eats through everything.
And
Excuse me.
and coming soon is Aladdin to do the exact same thing.
Just no.
Fucking logs abysmal.
It looks like a fucking YMCA pantomime. What the fuck is going on? I don't understand what's going through the minds of anybody involved with that project, but that will be the first time I actively avoid a Disney movie since Toy Story was a thing.
There. Sorry, I saw your rant earlier on Twitter. I just knew I had to throw it in somewhere.
I, I don't. I rarely buy into the it's ruining my childhood, because it's not ruining my childhood. But I have a deep-seated amount of love for Robin Williams and the Genie, and they're just shitting all over it. I don't understand. I just don't.
Well, it's not ruining your childhood. It is ruining your daughter's childhood by letting her see this film.
No, it's not, because they've got to fucking get through me first, and she ain't seeing that. I'd rather let her watch Candyman.
There's also, say, Tremors.
Tremors
horror
is cool.
films. Exactly, it's a horror film that your daughter can watch. And Eight-Legged Freaks, because
Just put
both
on the
spiders are fucking
Candyman scene
hilarious.
from Scrubs over and over.
Right, let's stop talking about movies.
Yep, let's wrap it up, guys. End of the year, end of 2018, 2019 beckons with its list of games coming out all in February. And until then, and over this Christmas period, where can people find you, Lee?
I am Pyro Loveridge on almost everything.
And Brooks?
What do you mean almost everything?
Well, obviously not on Facebook.
What about Tinder?
I am Pyro Loveridge on Tinder.
Grinder?
I am Pyro Long Dong Loveridge on Grinder.
Pyro Meaty Goodness.
Yeah,
Meaty
Meaty
goodness.
Goodness Loveridge.
Brooks, where do people find you on Grindr?
I am Meaty Goodness Brooks. I'm on Twitter. That's pretty much the only place I am, and I suppose Instagram as well a little bit. I'm kind of using it a little bit more. I'm at Brooker411 on both. Yeah.
And I'm the John_CU on Twitter. And if you're not interested in us as individuals, you've got CharacterUnlock.com, Character Unlock on Facebook, Character Unlock Twitter, Instagram, Meaty Goodness, Character Unlock on Grindr. And that's us done for the year. So I guess we do wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope to catch you listening to us. The other two of you who aren't Lee, who's on the podcast, will be listening to us in the future. And say goodbye, everybody.
No.
Bye, everybody.
Fuck you.
I'm all about the ending, mate.
It's like being on the goddamn Sooty and Sweep show.
There's nothing better than a happy ending.
True enough.
There we go.
And that was free for all your listeners. It's not the worst superpower ever.
Is it not?
No, I've been collecting bad superheroes from like screenshots. I've got some belters, hang on. You'll love these. I mean, I can't show you, but I can read them out.
Oh,
I am curious as to why you've been collecting them, though.
Because they tickle me, so when you see them... So, I've got Child Sex Man. Poo Man. Fake Penis Man. Child Porn Man.
What?
My ultimate favourite, Corpse Sex Threat Man.
Just threatening it, not actually doing
Super
it.
Gonorrhea Man, that's a good one. Cesspool Man, Bed Man, Bagel Man, Barrier Man, Roadkill Man, Rocket Man and Socket Man, Fat Naked Man. How's that?